This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show. I got nothing today.
I got you. Okay. All right, everybody. Listener listening at home, people on your drive time commute, those currently yelling at your boss. It's time to take a break, quit your job. We're gonna take a
At
big
this moment.
hang
on, I'm listening to Jump on the Bat-Wagon. Give me a fucking second, man.
We're gonna take a big deep breath. You ready, Jamie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in.
Wait, in the nose?
Whatever you want. Just keep breathing in.
Oh.
Just keep breathing. You need to go for more big in those lungs. Okay, and out quickly. And now your chakras are clear, and you should find no less than like $1.62 million in your bank account.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Let me check.
Yeah, check it. I'll wait. You should press the waiting button, whatever you have in the software.
One moment, please.
That's the one.
It says there's way less than that. Are you sure I did it right? Let me check.
More air.
We used to do this breathing exercise in drum corps called in, sip, sip, out, push, push.
Yeah.
You breathe all the way in, and then you sip 2 more sips past that, and then you breathe all the way out. You push 2 more past that. And it's supposed to expand your lungs, but all it did was make people pass out. Without a doubt, at least one person would just suddenly ka-chunk onto the ground during one of those. So we would always have to do them in like a big grassy field or something.
Okay,
but it was usually the same person. So
put on your life vests and get waist deep in the pool.
Yeah, we're gonna do our warm-ups for brass playing here.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's bad in theory and turns out bad in practice.
Well, it worked for me. I never passed out because I'm good.
I want you to put in a thump sound effect and then just like 30 seconds of silence with me trying to revive you over a podcast.
Yeah, I've never passed out. And then you do the rest of the podcast all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How's the intro go? Since you're doing it and I'm dead.
Hello, everybody. This is now my podcast, and Jamie is dead. He would want me to say exactly what's on his script, but I'm not going to do it because this is hell, and you're now in hell. So you're going to listen to me complain about my problems for an hour and a half every week, and then you're going to pay me for it. $1.62 million per episode. So do your deep breathing. And let's get on with Jump on the Bat-Wagon.
This is episode 118, baby.
Wow, that's
good.
a number.
That's exactly what I wrote down. I don't know how you could see it or read it, but it was there. I even put "This is hell," and somehow you knew. I'm James. That's Brian. You know. Mm-hmm. I keep trying to show him the DCAU, but then we just talk about other things. And that's how the podcast goes.
Solid podcast
Sometimes,
idea. Yeah. For your drive time commute, for your background music while yelling at your boss. Has anybody yelled at their boss lately? Like write in the comments.
Dylan was on our special Patreon Dan Reba call the other day, and he did not turn his camera on the whole time. He says he was like unlookable. He was a mess at work or whatever. He was at work while on the call, so he just stayed audio only and muted himself most of the time. I was so disappointed. I'm always so disappointed in Dylan Pollock specifically.
I'm not. I just want him to quit his job and move to Oregon.
Yeah, I know. Me too. At the time of this recording,
12:09 p.m.
Superman the Animated Series is streaming on Max.
My dog.
And available on DVD and Blu-ray.
My other dog, if you believe it.
The second dog has 2 and an "and" in its name. Have we ever addressed this? I don't know. If you'd like to follow along, you can head over to bit.ly/watchdcau. The link is in the show notes. Today we're watching the episode Prototype. I have no memory of what your guess was last time. Something with Brainiac, and I said no, and then I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's not my job to remember shit. It's my job to be the asshole.
Yeah, of all the people, I hope you wipe your brain every episode.
Yeah.
What do you have any thoughts of what Prototype could maybe be?
What's a hard ack?
No.
What?
This first aired Saturday, October 11th.
Jeopardy.
What is Hardak? I know. Look, Alex Trebek. What the hell is Hardak? Is that what I had when I died? I don't know. I'm going to cut that out. This aired Saturday, October 11th, 1997.
You can cut that out, but you can't cut out my surprise laughter.
Yes, I can. We're separate audio tracks.
Shit.
9:30. I now have to start this over, though. This first aired Saturday, October 11th, 1997. I'm still laughing from a thing that maybe I cut out. Did I cut it out? Who knows? Maybe I kept it all in. I might have. 9:30 a.m. on Kids WB.
What the fuck?
This aired right after our last episode, Cold Comfort, part of the new Batman Superman Adventures programming block.
How I knew it was going to be Superman.
Well, you got it right that time, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
and
clue.
the time before that.
Sure. This aired number 35. Well, I didn't. If you really think about it, if you want to count cards, I quite didn't do that. Aired number 34, produced number 31, right after Bizarro's World.
Oh.
This was written by Hilary J. Bader. This is our third episode in a row written by Hilary J. Bader.
Yep.
Previously wrote A Little Piece of Home, My Girl, Target, Action Figures, Double Dose, Cold Comfort, and co-wrote The Hand of Fate with Stan Berkowitz. I don't know why I'm doing this, but the director is Kurt Gaeta, who previously directed Lasak Part 2, Feeding Time, Stolen Memories, Tools of the Trade, Livewire, Identity Crisis, Target, Monkey Fun, and Brave New Metropolis. Monkey Fun. Music is by Harvey Cohen, who I have said twice now was his last music composing credit, so I'm just never going to say this again. It's Harvey Cohen.
Because it's his last one, so you're not going to say it again.
Yeah, it's the last time. Previously composed 22 episodes of BTAS, as well as Lasak Part 3, Livewire, Mix Yes Pixelated, and Double Dose. And animation is by Coco Dong Yang again. Previously animated 42 episodes of BTAS, as well as 13 episodes of STAS, and 3 episodes of Timba.
Got a slight Texan coming in and out here, listener. Don't worry about it.
What's going on? Yeah. Buy us a coffee, okay?
Okay. You want me to buy us a coffee?
No. You misunderstand. I'm talking to Dylan Pollock in all of his many forms.
What if we just call out individual listeners? Be like, hey, it's time for we had Kale,
Scrudge.
I think, last one. Yeah, Scrudge.
Banana Baby.
And then we can tell them how much they ow, which is, I think now that everybody is a millionaire, I think we can demand a lot more.
Per episode. I guess so. If we've got 1.6 million in our bank accounts or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, we still need at least another million. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to be making that much per hour or whatever it is that Jeff Bezos makes.
That's
Head
my
over
goal.
to the link in the description to send us a Yoppie beverage and support the show. We'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode. We'll also do a push up for every $1 to send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. Mm-hmm. And today's Yoppie bevs come to us from Vince.
Oh, Vince. Can we put him on retainer or something? We need that boy to be on hold, I guess.
If there's ever really a third co-host. Vince bought 5 Yoppie bevs. Bevs. As a means of thanks and to keep Brian sabroso, which means rich, I think. Or no, I think it means tasty. Rich in flavor. Is this based on the discussion we had, I think?
Pretty sure it means sweaty.
Are you all 3 of those things? Rich, tasty, sweaty?
I'm at least one of those.
That 70s
and no
band.
more than one of them.
For the great time at WF and Big Bus, thank you both again for all the great laughs, fond memories, and pets for Max and DVD/Blu-ray. Love you, Rose. Now let's mix it up and do some jumping jacks. Oh, boy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, so...
I'm too tall to do jumping jacks
room.
inside.
You're gonna hit your head on the lamp. Do squatting jumping jacks. I don't know.
What if I just go outside and do them, and then
can you open the window and then stand by that window and shout?
You know what I can do?
It's on your
you know what? I got a plan. This is very stupid. Let's go.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
watching what you're doing, I
Oh,
guess.
you're not going to be able to see.
Oh. Okay, I'm just going to do 25 jumping jacks while you do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, sounds good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I have no idea what Brian is doing. He may be recording himself on his phone, and then I have to edit it in later. If that's what he's doing, fuck that.
Oh, there he is. There's the man of the hour.
My prediction was that you're recording yourself and I have to edit it in later.
You know it.
Fuck you, God. What a great master plan you had there.
Thank you.
Technological achievement. Oh, I'll just make James do more work.
Do you want me to just play it through the microphone right now?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so walking down the hallway, there's the living room, there's the kitchen, here's
Thank you for the
dining room
play-by-play.
/ bar, there's Rosie, there's Kiba. You guys were in the laundry room because it's got a higher ceiling. Okay, here we go. Hi Kiba, you want to do some jumping jacks? Can I get a room? No? No room? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is this good?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, this is good
13,
content.
14.
I think so as well.
16,
One moment,
17,
please.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Vince, I like that you always find new things for us to do. Come on, Bubba.
Creative.
Come on, Bubs.
It is.
I'm dog sitting right now, so I got more
Oh.
than 2 dogs.
Cool.
Okay. And I'm sure Jamie's talking. So I'll just, I don't know, come back and hear what he says. Oh, there he is.
Oh, I remember that part. Now, can you play back what you just recorded on your microphone of the phone? And then we can listen to that just to get the full rounded experience.
yes. Yes, I
Okay,
can.
cool. Let's watch Prototype,
Yes.
for God's sake.
Let's.
We have more dramatic film today of Sergeant Corey Mills, the man in the police battlesuit, foiling yet another bank robbery. We caution parents that the footage you're about to see may be too intense for younger viewers. This is what the bank cameras caught on tape earlier this afternoon.
My Lord.
Is it any wonder?
Corey, you're on TV again.
Dramatic drama
Yeah?
behind
How does it feel to have a famous husband?
You're so strong in that suit. Don't you think you should be more careful?
the scene
Not
of
so
Casper
violent?
Area Hospital.
Look, I'm doing a great job for this city. Why can't you just appreciate that?
I know, but
It's better for the suit. It makes the contact points static free.
that's just great. You could have at least prepared me.
What do you want? It's my job. What's that?
Brochures for our vacation.
Forget it. I can't go now, not when I'm getting used to the suit.
This is becoming an obsession.
You don't understand, Trish. You don't know how it feels. The rush, the power. It's so perfect. And every day we get stronger and stronger.
We, Corey? We? You talk as if that thing were a person. Oh, God, what's happening to you?
Nothing, baby. Nothing. It's just the excitement of it, that's all. Really.
RoboCop. He got blinded by Mr. RoboCop.
Yeah, he sure did. And then Superman blinded him with brain blinding.
High voltage blinding.
Danger, danger. High voltage. When we fight, when we kiss, because it's Superman.
Oh man, that was an episode.
Yeah. Do you want to first tell me what happens in it?
Sing up,
Please.
if you're wondering.
Okay.
Sing up,
Please.
what you just watched.
Okay.
Sing up, take a listen to the
Mr. Q.
synopsis. The short and summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Please! I was waiting for that one.
You just like completely like maxed out the volume.
I know.
There's like the start of it and just kind of crackled into nothingness.
Everyone's waiting for the cute little ding at the end, and instead it's just me screaming, please.
This is what the listener comes here for. Listener, $1.62 million in Jamie screaming, please. Am I right? Is there anything more? Dylan has started charging me for podcasts.
What?
I need to watch what I say on the pod because Dylan charged me a penny and I paid it and requested on Venmo.
Oh, yeah. You'd said that. You said
Yeah.
for people to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dylan did, and I paid him. So Dylan's officially
You can
like,
do a
part of the
penny
staff.
transaction on like Venmo or whatever.
Yeah, and I wanted to know if you do the instant transfer, how much money they take out.
Yeah. I'll have 6 hay pennies. Hey pennies. I don't know.
I like that. There's some Dublin lore in there. But the Happenny Bridge, look it up.
What happens in Prototype? Or are you not done yet?
Then Kimmy requested $100,000, and I said, "Fuck that."
Oh man,
I have it in
You
my
should have
bank
paid
account, but
yeah, I know.
I just
You
don't
have
want to
that
share.
And times many more.
oh yeah, at least
Basically.
times 10.6. So what happened? Do you want to press the synopsis button? So
Yeah. Please.
Okay.
It's just a button of me saying, please, get on with it.
All right. If it's what the listener requests.
Yeah.
I'll wait
If
for
you
their
can
response.
Venmo request, please tell me what happens in Prototype to Brian. Any amount of money. Yeah.
So Lex saw RoboCop and was like, that's a good idea.
He did.
And then he also saw Iron Man and he was like, that's also a good idea.
You said War Machine specifically.
Whose name I forgot.
The gray Iron Man. I
Look
think is
who's
what you
gray
said.
Iron Man. Thank you for being my Marvel brain when I don't have one.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's me. If there's anything anybody knows about me, is I know Marvel comics. So I'm just sitting here. I have the baseline knowledge to tell you, yeah, it's War Machine. But like I bought a Marvel hoodie at Walmart, and I was like, oh, is this blasphemy? Am I allowed to do that? And then I wore it to Eugene, I think. But it was like, I mean, big bus, whatever. Everyone knows. All the characters, there's like a big blast of characters on the back, and it's one of those like, oh, James, could you name every character? But all of them are the most like basic, obvious Marvel characters. So I'm like, yes, and so can you. I'm sure.
Wasn't there
Is it
one
Wolverine,
that I was
Spider-Man, Iron Man? Maybe. Oh yeah, you thought that Black Widow was someone else or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but anyway,
about right. Do you want to know what happens?
please,
Okay.
yes, please.
So like War Machine plus RoboCop, and Lex is like, fuck yeah. And then the dude who puts it on is like, I'm actually kind of like a crazy guy.
Whoops. Well, but is he, or is he just being whatevered by the suit?
He's crazy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like
yeah,
there's a
little bit.
pre-existing condition there for sure.
He's cocky. He's got something. Well, yeah, because even when he's Save Catman, he's like, let me squeeze your hand real good for no reason.
Yeah,
He's
right.
just
So
being
he's
a little
just
asshole. Yeah.
he's just he's and that's pretty much it. He goes out of control, and Superman has to get him back in control. And there's an epic battle, and Lex almost gets eaten by a
Epic
shark.
proportions.
The end.
He does. I don't know what happens in the final fight. Some shitty things. It's Superman's vision.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess okay. Yeah, Superman gets Iron Man blasted in the face with lasers. He gets some pretty aggressive LASIK surgery, which I'm sure Dylan's going to mention, right? Because I said it. No,
Yeah.
that's going to be the thing that he says.
That
this
Dylan
episode.
says, yeah.
So aggressive LASIK, and Superman's blind, and he sees like Scooby-Doo effects for a little while, and he's getting his ass kicked.
He hears people going on the piano.
He's just like
Who's playing that piano? I can't hear Corey Mills flying through the air. I need to stop playing the piano, please.
He's like, is that in 5/4? Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5/4.
No,
It's in 5/4.
it changed to 7/8 for a second.
It's a waltz. He's doing a waltz now. And meanwhile, he's getting his face all smashed in by RoboCop, and
Corey Mills is ventriloquisming his voice into a different corner while playing the piano over here just to fucking
Superman, I'm over there. Now I'm over there. Turns out I'm being crushed by a tiny car.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like a LexCorp cart of some kind.
It's like a luggage mover at the airport without the train behind it.
And then Superman comes and leans on it, and you're just, how small is that car? Because it just looks so tiny.
The perspective of
was
it,
weird,
it seemed like it was like a box truck. And then
big, giant
Superman
van,
comes
yeah.
over and takes a rest on it, and he's towering over the thing. I'm like, Superman, he's blind, and now he's 80 feet tall.
I was just too distracted by the fact that that shot might be flipped or something, because it had like a J on it instead of an L. Like it Jexcorp. I was very confused. But anyway.
I don't know why I thought you were going to talk about Superman's S on his shirt. It's like, there's just a J on it now. He's Superman.
Juperman.
I'm Juperman.
Me am Juperman. Do you want to hear the official synopsis?
I don't know, man.
I think you're done.
Mine's pretty good.
It was good. This one's not as good.
Wait.
What?
Wait. Okay, go.
Oh, a super strong mechanical suit of armor stands as a threat to both villains and the innocent citizens of I almost said Gotham. Metropolis. It says Metropolis. Piloted by the SCU officer who becomes one with the suit. Only Superman can thwart off the danger posed by this new multifaceted yet increasingly dangerous crime-fighting device. There's some vocabulary words there at the end used to describe.
Really working towards their SATs.
Yeah. Piloted by an increasingly succinct man. That was a vocab word.
Of a Caucasian, not disp. What am I trying to say?
Of a Caucasian disposition. He was unfortunately white.
But he's that terrible. Oh man. Okay, wait. I need some backup here. I need my friends. All right, listener, that's you. Can we talk about somebody who's tanner than their hair color?
Was Corey Mills tanner? I guess he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had like a bleach blonde.
He had like Johnny Quest
platinum
hair,
blonde hair. Yeah.
and a Donald Trump tan.
Yeah. Well, it's very fitting of his character, I suppose.
Yeah.
I have the best police suit.
Lex.
They're not going to take it away from me. This is not a good Trump impression at all. But
Lex told me I'm the best policeman there ever was and ever will be.
I heard him. He said, he came in the room. He said, you're the best police officer.
Don't worry about the sharks.
Yeah. Well, make sure they show the shark like 4 times so that you remember it's there before it comes out. But then you think you were still surprised when the shark burst. So what? There was a shark.
It was so background to me that I completely spaced that there was a massive shark tank in Lex's office. We just see the skyline so often.
Yeah.
So when Superman wait, what happened?
Corey Mills throws Lex against it and then lasers it or something.
The water comes pouring out and I was just like, Lex's office is underwater. I thought it was at the top of a building.
And there was even one shot where Lex was like cowering against it and his shadows were falling on it as if it was just a blue painted wall. And I was like, what is this wall? There are so many options. And then the glass breaks in a way that I think you were saying glass wouldn't break or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
you have all the...
it's just, don't even worry about that. Let's worry about other things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a lot of very questionable art in this episode.
It went
Superman's
back and forth
face
between...
was different. It wasn't even his face. He was like Harvey Birdman sometimes, and other times his face was just twice the height it should be.
Yeah,
and pointy,
he had some weird proportions. Everyone had some weird proportions. Maggie Sawyer's
like having a seizure while talking.
Her
like
face changed 4 different times. Yeah, I don't know.
God,
And then it had its moments of like, oh, that was really keen, and that we'll get to. So it was a weird balance. I think it did drift more into the bad looking than good looking.
Yes.
But it sort of redeemed itself occasionally, and it was like we were both going like, at a couple parts, and otherwise it was weird. It was a Coco Dong Yang, so you know.
Yeah. So the Dong Yang. Wait, who was the better of the two?
To me, Coco has the more solid proportions and on modelness and such.
Right. Okay.
Of the two, but I neither. I mean, like again, we're taking for granted that we don't get ACOM, we don't get blue pencil, whatever anymore.
La piece azul.
The thing where he at the start, I feel like they could have made him be a little bit more of like an actual good guy for the beginning, because I felt like, yeah, like you're saying, like he was just kind of immediately questionable. And I guess maybe because they only have 20 something minutes to do this whole thing, but he saves the cat, and I think that's supposed to, because there's some sort of psychological study, whatever the fuck, of like, oh, you show your character save a cat, now you automatically, the audience knows that's a good person or whatever. Like it's some sort of theory of writing. I can't remember who did this, but
it's also a little bit it's reminiscent of is it the Stanford prison experiment? Is that what that's called?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
With just like giving people like ultimate power and having them abuse it.
Right.
Maybe this is just a bunch of like studies
rolled into one
episode.
Steel's prototype. Yeah.
Oh,
you recognize Steel. You knew Steel. Yeah.
John Irons. And I only remember, and God, like there's
that's Iron Man, right? You said it's Warhammer.
John
War
H.
Machine,
Iron Man.
I can't even say it right.
No, it was from the is it Max Landis, The Death and Return of Superman?
Yeah, I figured that's why you
loved that video. And there's a bit where, before knowing any of this shit, and there's a bit in that video where he talks about like the ridiculousness of naming a dude Steele, whose name is John Henry Irons.
John Henry Irons, yeah.
Yeah, and that has stuck with, because that was the whole like, I can't. In my household said that forever. So that kind of sentence is in my head. So when I saw the name, I was like, oh shit, no, I know who this is already. Fuck.
It was weird that because his name tag thing just said John Irons, right? It didn't say John Henry Irons.
It said John H.
Oh, okay.
Like Jesus H. Irons.
John H. Irons. Come on. Put the suit on. Okay, because I'm glad, I guess, that you knew who he was already, because John Henry Irons is such a silly, ridiculous, stupid name that I was like, oh no, Brian's going to automatically hate this guy just for how dumb his name is. But luckily you could just sit back and enjoy his character as much as he was there, I guess. But
he wasn't there much, but it's pretty ham-fisted of what they're doing with him. Like obviously he's going to come back. He's going to
That's
like
what the H stands for. John Ham-Fisted Irons. Do you notice his fists were made of ham?
That's how he gets all the ladies.
But yeah, no, I was glad you knew him, because I mean, clearly the end of the episode, he's thinking, you know,
he's like maybe
what am I gonna do?
I'm gonna put on and it's gonna be the same thing. The first thing he's gonna like bust through a wall and blind Superman with his fucking LASIK hands.
What would you? Do you think you could control it if you were in that suit? Would you be a good person? Would you be like, damn, I've got laser fingers?
Yeah, no, I think I would be. When did I become a West Coast person? Why do I start like answer yes or no questions with yeah, no, or no, yeah? When did that start happening? Holy shit.
You've been living here too long.
Been living here too long, I guess.
You gotta live over here in Oregon where we talk like this.
I think I'd be a good person only because like I probably wouldn't be trying to stop shit. Ooh.
Well, it's the Captain America like syndrome of like, you started off a good person, then you got the power, you'll probably stay a powerful good person instead of bad guy get power. They're just going to be really bad now.
That's fair. I was gonna say I don't think I'd do anything, but I do remember that time that I downtown and there was a fight and I saw somebody grab like a metal pipe to go after somebody else, and I like inherently like went after the person who grabbed the metal pipe. Because I was like, that's gonna kill somebody. I gotta stop that from happening. And then the person,
and then you shoved it into the back hole and destroyed the suit.
No, the person I was with like physically like restrained me and was like, no, not your fight. Like let's go over there.
Yeah, you're gonna get conked in the dick if you go over there. Yeah,
I don't know. Just being bullied for a long time, I think, puts you in that. So like, I would like to think that I would just like be flying around trying to like deal with my fear of heights. I mean, like, okay, like they're just me flying 6 feet above the road. Like, this is fine. But maybe I would like just start
small little whoosh. Let's just start with one of those.
I would probably end up like Batmaning and just hanging out downtown on the building tops waiting for somebody to mess up.
Yeah. Can you please just come do the evil right here where I already am? Yeah. So I don't have to go anywhere. No, I think that's I think I've thought about this before of like, would I act in that sort of situation, or would I think I would, but I would actually just be like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Because my only experience with this is a Halloween in like 7th grade or something, where these like big like high school guys came up to us to steal our candy. Like, it was me and a couple friends walking around, and Will was right next to me, and they came up to him. Like, they just walked up to us and started asking for the candy, and I just kept walking. Like, I just left Will back there to have candy taken from him. And that's all I thought was happening, was that they were just being intimidating. And yes, I felt bad about it, and like I regretted not staying there with him and trying to like be aware of the situation. But then later he told me that they had little pocket knives that they were threatening him with and stuff, and I was like, oh fuck, like I really should have not walked away from this.
James's superhero name is the Abandoner.
Yeah, super abandonment. Away. Don't help your friend. But since that was like 20 years ago, I have no like stance of what I would do now. I would hope that I wouldn't just go like, you're on your own, Jessica.
I think
a mugger came up to us and tried to steal your purse. Well, why didn't you stop him? I was halfway down the block already.
No, I could see you. I think I know you at this point in time, and I think you would try to like de-escalate and intervene.
Yeah,
like you'd just be like, "Hey, let's just not. We're gonna
doing
go."
This? Yeah. Yeah.
Who did you?
Do
vote
you have
for?
a gun? Yeah.
So you just walk up and you'd be like,
Who
"Hey,"
did you vote
you'd get in
for?
between them with your hands up. Hey! Did you vote for Corey Mills? Did you vote for Corey Mills for president?
And if he knows who Corey Mills is, then we're on the right page and we can be friends. Then I'll befriend the mugger. Do you know who Spider Conway is? Have you heard of Spider Conway?
Do you know Spider Conway? You guys seem
he's
like
a close
you go
personal
way back.
friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
my apologies. You know Spider?
Anyway, this episode.
Oh, right. Are we doing a podcast?
I think so. I think this is the podcast. I think people understand. I don't know. Okay, this doesn't stick out as one of those ones that, like, as a kid, I would want to revisit often. The main thing that sticks out is the Superman getting lasered in the eyes, and then even now watching that, I'm just going like, ow, as we're watching that, because like
it's
I can
gotta
just
be
feel,
so dry.
Yeah, I've never had my eyes be blasted so hard that I just see purple rings and sparkles everywhere. But I have to imagine it doesn't feel very good, especially to be able to do that to Superman. What would it do to my eyes? My eyes would just be gone.
You would just have
be
holes.
lasered
You'd
out
have
of my skull.
You'd
Yeah,
have tunnels through your head where your eyes should be.
I might not be alive. In fact, yeah.
And if you are, you'd probably only speak French, which is kind of weird because I don't think you do.
That's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. You get LASIK, you speak French.
Yep. You get LASIK, you speak French. It's just sometimes they nick the wrong little slice of your eyeball and it changes your entire vernacular.
Wow, what a time to be alive.
Look, sir, you can get contacts, or we have this option of laser surgery. It'll much longer lasting and blah, blah, blah. You might start speaking a different language, but it's just one of the risks you have to take. Who needs Duolingo when you have LASIK? Anyway, this episode. Yeah, my eyes hurt when I watched that scene. That's all.
Yeah, I get it.
Superman grabbed the high voltage wires and wasn't being very jellyfished. He was able to somehow.
He's like, I'm just a conduit
that.
here.
Yeah, and then I thought like I had the memory of him sticking them into the like back hole.
Yeah,
but he does that and then one on his chest to like complete the circuit or whatever. I don't know if that's necessary, but he did it anyway. He's like, I really got to fuck up this guy. And we just sat there in silence watching as he like murders a man. You said there's a human in there, Superman. Like, remember?
I know there's these 2-inch wide high voltage cables, and Superman's just like, I don't know, to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs, and then burns this guy to death with high voltage wires.
A few brains, yeah.
And the dude's blue eyes go from blue eyes with pupils to just light blue, washed over, no pupils anymore. We're like, oh, he's dead or he's blind. We're like, I guess that's fair.
And then he's in the hospital the next scene, and he's not like that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
It was a temporary brain cracking. Superman knew exactly what to do. He'd known this suit for 2 days.
Well, I mean, did he know? Because we got that whole like, I don't know. We got to see the close up of Superman's mouth with the electricity flying out of it, like he's got too many aluminum fillings or whatever.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
My dentist is gonna kill me.
Why did I do this? I thought he was gonna like judo flip the dude into like the high voltage and like yeah, that makes sense. No, he just like grabs the wires.
Yeah.
Shocks the dude, and then he puts him back because he's like a proper electrician. He's like, look, like people need electricity. I'm gonna put these wires back.
Them back in.
Which they're not. By the way, they're not shocking him when he puts them back in.
No.
Did you notice that? So the power's
all
off.
The electricity. Yeah. All of Metropolis's power went into that human man inside a tinfoil suit, and then they just put him back.
He's fine. His hair's probably gonna grow back.
Well, that was actually one of the 2 times during that fight that I was sort of impressed by how not predictable it was. Because, like you said, I also thought he was gonna just like punch him and then he would fly backward into the electricity or something. But then the other one was when Corey gets knocked underground somehow and Superman's looking into the hole.
He's trying to look into the hole.
Well, that's right. He was listening to the hole. The tiny. There's the.
What does it sound like, Superman?
There was the tiny car pushed Corey underground. Superman's standing above the hole, and I was like, oh, and because he's blind, like he could easily just fly out of the hole and knock into Superman. Mm-hmm. But then he just bursts out of the ground. There's longer than you think of a wait before he comes bursting out again. And I don't know. There's just a couple like, okay, yeah, you didn't do the thing I thought you'd do, which is a little nice. But
yeah, no, I think that's cool.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try not to alert you to that now.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Fuck.
Yeah. Amazing.
Dude, this was actually a really fun episode, and it was kind of cool at the start where like, they're working together. Okay, working together and okay, so they're working together at the very beginning.
It was really fun. Hang on a second, it wasn't.
So they're working together. Lex is like, we got this prototype suit, and someone's like, hey, there's a building on fire, and they're like, might as well like risk
and then
a prototype.
Creepy old man hits on Lois Lane for no reason.
Oh,
we didn't talk about that. Anyway,
we don't. Yeah,
really unnecessary moment.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna jump over that and go to the part where they're working together, and like they both fly to the top of this building where there's a bunch of people. And Superman's like, building's going to collapse. And the other guy's like, yeah, building's going to collapse. Superman's like, get them to lay together on the floor in a giant donut.
Yeah.
And you burn a hole, and I'm going to take the building, roof of the building with the people, and I'm going to put it down safely on the ground, which, by the way, would have been the most terrifying thing for anybody to experience ever. Be
on the roof disc, but I was also thinking as it happened that Superman would have to descend pretty slowly for them to not just like
fly
off the top of that. Yeah. But he's going down at like a normal Superman average speed.
And also at an angle.
Yeah. The people are just holding onto the edge. Jesus, Superman, come on. Superman's gotta be a better way to do this. Yeah.
But so like they're like working together like, oh, that's cool. And then you see homeboy Corey Bert and Ernie.
Corey, Bert, and Ernie. That's his name.
And he's like flying down like an elevator shaft or something, and he's just like flopping grenades just left and right, just bam, bam, bam.
With
and we're like, he's gonna implode the building, so I guess it doesn't fall over. And then
that's what I was thinking.
It zooms out, and it's just like, oh no, he put out the fire. He fought fire with fire. He fought fire with grenades, and it worked.
I have to assume the grenades are some sort of repellent or gas or like dirt or something that he's putting the fire out with, but they don't show that or say that. He's just descending down a like chute of flames, which was not very keen, and he just shot a bunch of grenades out of his wrists, and then the building exploded, and it was fine. And I was like, is he? I thought so too. That he was like demolishing the building. Like, well, it's just gonna collapse anyway, so I might as well control it or something.
Yeah.
But then and now I also have a cat. I saved the kitty.
He's like blowing up the building. He's like, gotta save the cat. Blow up the building some more.
There was 16 people still in there. I don't know what you want me to do.
I mean,
great to work together, huh, Super? I didn't ask for this.
Oh man,
you didn't save those people.
He didn't save most of them, I assume.
Everyone in that entire 40-story building got to the roof, and there were only like 13 people, and they saved them all. Is that what we're led to believe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's what he was doing.
Everyone else was at work.
He was blowing up the rest of the people in there. He was like, "Can't save you. Can't save you.
Can't let anyone know. There must be no evidence.
No survivors." He's like, "Oh, but I can't kill the cat."
Superman's like, "No, we do the opposite of that." Ah, damn it! I knew I did something wrong. Great working together, huh? Superman? No,
Superman,
no.
Let me break your head. I just blew up a bunch of people. Or hand. Did I say head? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you did. Quite a head shake you've got there. I hope you'd notice. Yeah. That line also of him saying, like, "Oh, guess we're working together on this one," and Superman was actually like happy, like, "Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to that. I've never worked together with Dr. Fate or Batman or anybody. I've been missing this," and. Because he goes out there to do it on his own, and then Superman shows up. Yeah. You would think if they're setting him up as like a bad person, that he should be more like, "Hey, I had that," or something like that. But I guess if
the handshake is pretty foreboding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lois Lane turns and looks off screen as Superman whooshes and like dirt hits her face. And I was like, I guess it was to show the wind moving, but it's just
fuck
like,
you, Lois.
Lois, can you stand over here by this small pile of sand really quickly? And my eyes. It's just like the end of the episode. I can only see purple rings.
And then it like does that weird like zoom in and out.
Piano sounds, yeah. The cast: Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane.
Who would have thought?
Xander Berkeley as Sergeant Corey Mills. He plays a character named Gregory on The Walking Dead. He was a character named George Mason in 24. Those were the two big long-running things he was in.
Okay.
He was in a handful of DC and Marvel cartoons over the years. He's Manhunter in Beware the Batman. Kirk Langstrom, a.k.a. Man-Bat, in the Son of Batman animated movie.
Oh, nope. Okay.
Mysterio in The Spectacular Spider-Man. Mento, General Immortus, and Warp in Teen Titans. He plays two characters, Snav and Urbob, on Real Monsters, which I don't remember. Octo Paganini on the Tick 90s animated series. And then he's been I recognized his face from probably most of these. The Mandalorian, Terminator 2, Air Force One, Apollo 13, lots of number movies. Shanghai Noon, that's
Shanghai
one too.
12.
Supergirl, Longmire, Taken, Bones, Gattaca, Gargoyles, X-Files, The A-Team, The Incredible Hulk, and MASH.
What's his name again?
Xander Berkeley. He's one of those guys. You see his face, and you're like, it's that guy, but I don't know his name. It's Xander Berkeley.
You know,
he was in Taken. I said that, but that might be what I know from. I don't know.
I honestly don't recognize him.
He's also Hans in Duckman Private Dick. And he'll be back as a couple other notable roles.
He's got a really good hat in one of those photos.
A really good hat?
Really good hat.
Wow. Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. Michael Dorn as John Henry Irons. He gets his full name in the credits. Previously Calabac in Father's Day.
Oh.
But without his voice pitched down like this the whole time. Cynthia Gibb as Trish Mills. This is her only DCAU acting credits. She played Holly Laird in 56 episodes of Fame. She's in a bunch of Hallmark Christmas movies, like too many to name, so I did not.
Sick.
I also wrote down that she played a character named Sandy Bonattoni in Short Circuit 2, and I only wrote that down because the first Short Circuit was filmed where I live.
No
So
way.
there you go. And like 6 other movies.
Oh.
Kiba does not like Short Circuit 2. There's 3 more people.
Oh.
Joanna Cassidy as Maggie Sawyer. Robert David Hall as news anchor. He was like, the footage may be too shocking for children.
Oh, right, yes.
And then we're going to show it on Kids WB. Previously, additional voices in Heart of Ice. And he was most known as Chief M.E. Dr. Al Robbins in 328 episodes of CSI. Don't know him. Cam Clark as Older Thug. Previously, Sid Melkin in Livewire. That was her like agent guy with the white ponytail. Hey, come into my thing. It's the place. My last name's Melkin.
Yeah, so that whole this footage may be too shocking for younger viewers or whatever. Like, that's just full on police brutality. He's like slamming some dude into like a bank vault. He's throwing another dude up.
Yeah, I was expecting like, right. It's going to be not safe to watch. Okay, whatever. We're going to laugh at this or something.
Yeah.
And then, he just comes in and like knocks those guys into 3 Tuesdays from now and then slams the vault door in the guy's fingers or whatever.
Yeah,
and
his arms
just like
just
leaves
blast off and he's like,
and then his wife is like, Corey, oh my God. You're on TV. How could you expect she's going to be upset by this? She's just amazed. And I guess that's the joke. But then I don't remember the wife character trying to be painted as also kind of shitty. But I guess maybe she is. I don't know.
Yeah. My God, honey.
Yeah.
You killed so many people on TV. That's great.
Yeah.
I got to see all of it.
5 men. What? I thought you were supposed to kill 6. We discussed this. It was the plan. Yeah.
They both just got a pretty serious case of bloodlust.
The wife, she enters the room and she's also shaved her head bald. I was like, all right, sick.
Honey, are you done with the suit yet?
Yeah.
I want to have a go.
to have the suit now.
Oh my God.
Venom. Okay, very small tribs. The bomb that blows up close to Superman's face features reused footage from the gas canisters that Superman ignites in The Way of All Flesh.
Fuck yeah.
But you also thought maybe an explosion at the illegal garage dump place.
Oh my God, I forgot about that whole scene where he's just like, I'm gonna kill car thieves.
I'm gonna kill this refrigerator. No, is your refrigerator running?
So
he
Superman
did have a couple of zinger one-liners as he was flying around.
Yeah, he was actually pretty entertaining.
He might as well have
when he's sitting there, there's a bad guy cowering up against a pile of cars, which by the way, that dude should have killed those other dudes who were in a car by dropping 15 cars on top of them.
Yeah, well, I thought cartoon logic was the cars were already crushed, so now they're lighter now. The matter can only be destroyed, right? That's what we've decided.
Yeah, I think that's that physics.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's how it goes.
So Corey's about to kill a dude with a refrigerator, and Superman comes and flies up and punches the fridge out of his hands. And all I wanted was for him to aim
you missed.
2 feet lower. And so maybe Superman flies up and just does this crazy punch, and you just see Corey's head go flying forward instead.
Slams into Corey. The refrigerator hovers for a second and then flattens the guy that he was going to throw it at anyway. It's Superman, you completely failed. Oh my God.
Just some Looney Tunes physics there.
I assume that it's supposed to be that those guys are doing illegal activities of some kind, selling car parts or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Corey's like, you can't be doing that. I'm going to murder you with the refrigerator. But the guys in the car, it was the perfect opportunity in any other sort of if they were painted to be even worse than they are. It would have been a good opportunity to have one of those moments, like kind of like a Joker type of thing to do of like, Superman over there, it's RoboCop, he's doing such shitty shit. And then he flies away and they're like, hey, we get away with the thing we were doing. but instead it's like, it is painted to be more that they're in like legitimate mortal danger and like don't deserve this, which is true. But
yeah, like they're not
just kind of
good
half
guys.
expecting an extra little beat of them just...
Okay, I don't really know what kind of cars these were modeled
They were
after.
lifting engines out of cars.
Well, I mean, but it's like knowing a bit about like different types of vehicles and hot rods and classic whatever. Like these, I don't know if these are just like the animators being like super inventive. Look at this freaking bath I'm getting, dude. Holy shit.
Damn. Brian's naked. He's just in a spa for this podcast.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Hot tub. But it's a dog's tub.
Dog tub. So yeah, I don't know what, like, I think the animators are just like a lot more inventive with car design than like actual auto manufacturers are, because all the cars now are just looking like the same, but those cars look fucking awesome. But I assume that they're like high-end cars. Like I didn't get the idea that it was like Lois Lane's weird glass top sedan thing that always flies off into danger.
Superman's car that the roof opens so you can fly out.
Yeah. Like I don't think it was that. So like they're not just stealing from like nobody, you know, they're getting like top dollar probably whatever from these cars that they're stealing. So it's like, you know, whatever. Who really cares? But Corey
Come
cares.
on, Corey. Let them have their 1.6 mil.
I know, right?
Keen effects.
The big one for me, I mean, there was a lot going on. The big one for me was his like War Machine's like jet rings.
Rocket boots.
He's got rocket boot jet rings.
They weren't traditional fire. They were like a ring
white
fire.
White
a ring.
lasery, some kind of
white
gas.
fire ring.
Something.
Keen ring.
Keen rings.
One keen to rule them all, it said. The purple, they called them blacklight lasers, which I was a little confused if that was just supposed to sound cool. What does that mean? Like, if you shoot them at the thing, it'll both explode and glow white, really bright, real bright white purple.
Your trippy posters are going to look amazing, but also your eyes are going to be burned out of your head, so you can't exactly see it. Good luck, Frenchie.
Corey Mills, please shoot your laser fingers around this hotel room. Oh, stop.
Need to wash that bedding, I think.
It's on fire now. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Wash the fire. Wash the fire off the blankets and also the mysterious stain.
Yeah, he blew up a pile of stuff and then Snoopy's house and then an already blown up car.
He blew up a pile of guns. And then Snoopy sleeping on top of his doghouse.
Yeah.
And then a car on blocks.
The car was already like crunched up and stuff though. Like it was like broken. Like,
these are
the mighty power of this suit. Check it out. I can blow up a thing that's already broken.
It's just not a good
Snoopy's house.
It's just not like a really good like real world example of like things you're gonna come across. Like imagine it's like people in the streets screaming, being like, cop man, help us, there's a pile of guns. No problem. I can blow this shit up. Just watch this.
I can do 3 things, okay?
No, not my doghouse. Blow up the guns.
I was going to say more like, the building's on fire. Is Snoopy's house up there? No? Well, you're on your own. I'm so sorry to say.
Oh my God.
The suit, I skipped so much trims and went right to keen effects. The suit is described as magnifying the average man's strength by a factor of 20, which means the user should be able to lift 4 to 5 tons in a military press. That's not even Spider-Man territory, but in several instances, Mills is shown to be about as strong as Superman. Whatever. Superman's strength is so
it's in
up
flux.
and down. While demonstrating the battle suit, Sergeant Mills says it sports a powerful cachet of weapons, but the word cache is pronounced cache. Cachet with a T means the state of being respected or admired. Example, no other shipping company had quite the cachet of Cunard.
Thank you for that, Jamie.
You're welcome. This marks the second time in the series that Superman saves Luthor from a shark. The first was in Way of All Flesh in the ocean? He gets knocked out of the...
I can't remember what
boat.
episode, but yes.
Are there any other keen effects now that we're back to that? The fire in the building was not very keen. It was not well done. Although, to be fair, I guess it was... He's traveling in like 3D down the thing. The fire is going at different rates and different distances. Whatever. I couldn't do it better myself, so I won't make fun of it.
There you go.
Any more than I am now. That should be the key to all of this. Could I do it better? No. Well, then we don't have much to talk about.
Yeah. This episode was great, listener.
Yeah,
See
it was
you later.
wonderful, as we say every time.
Although sometimes we do, we're like, actually, this would be the way to write the episode. And I think we do have the ability to come up with a better ending. But like animation-wise, nah, I'm fucked.
Was Jimmy Olsen taking the pictures correctly? Was so-and-so editing a video? Otherwise, let's shut the fuck up. Superman's powers. Did we want to add weaknesses, black lights to the eyes, whatever?
Something, what we're calling it, something LASIK. Like violent LASIK or something like that.
French LASIK.
The French LASIK.
And he didn't do any of the new power things, though.
I mean, he kind of unjellyfished.
I mean, to be jellyfished, he was just lesser jellyfish.
That's fair.
I guess.
That's fair.
Withstanding the
He's been
jellyfish.
practicing.
How strong was he in this? He was okay. He's withstood the jellyfish, and he did a handshake bad, though.
He did a bad handshake. He lifted the top of a building with a bunch of people on it.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. He also
didn't catch a fire truck.
He was being like Daredevil-y during that scene where he was just like, well, I gotta use my other senses. I can smell him coming from this way. I can smell his perfume. He threw that small car and somehow missed, but then hit him later. I don't know. That was weird.
It was a very also Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Like somebody throws something, it goes way past them, and then it comes back and lands in their head.
You missed. Did I?
Yeah. I think like 3. Like he wasn't the strongest, but I'm going to give him 3 almost grenaded cats out of 10.
God damn it, I was going to do the cat.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to do another one?
Oh, no. No. I'll give him like a 3.6.
Okay.
Electricity dildos to the spine out of 10.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
You were like, oh, and he lands on it because the only problem I had with that concept was that didn't John Ham-Fisted Irons and Superman talk about how if you do that, if you use that on him, it'll like fuck up his brain, it'll rewire, it'll shit everything.
Something about the neuron connection or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
so like
cool.
we can't let him do that. And then he does it. Like Luthor does that to him. It was literally in his pocket, and it's in Luthor's pocket, and then it was. He does that to him. We see the short circuiting and such, and you assume, okay, now that's gonna like that's the reason why. Yeah. But then instead he's just like, now I'm mad. I'm even more mad than I was before. But
no, I'm not just mad. Like, I'm pissed.
Yeah. Where's Clayface?
Clayface is the building rooftop.
The circle that everyone's sitting on? Yeah. Okay.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call, the Balderarchy.
Now, a reminder that these are the antagonists, because John Henry Irons was bald, Lex Luthor was bald, Corey Mills was bald, the shark was bald.
Right. I'm actually at a draw, because obviously the main, antagonist we focus mostly on is Corey. Yeah. However, the suit wouldn't have existed without Lex.
Yeah, it's between Lex and Corey. I think I'll give it to Corey because we watched him shave his head in the episode, and then or off screen at least, and then he was like the legitimate threat to Superman in the episode, I guess.
Yeah,
Luthor was just being a smug Luthor man like always. But is that fine, Corey?
I think Corey. That's
okay.
Yeah. Again, it is of Lex's doing, but Lex wasn't necessarily. Oh, Kiba. Okay.
Kiba, really a Kiba today.
He's doing it hard.
Books or hip hop?
Oh, hip hop.
Yeah.
And
top 10? Top 10?
Jamie, I was looking at this earlier because there were some inconsistencies, whatever. It was mostly just a fighting episode, but it was actually really fucking entertaining, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was surprisingly good because I think, like I was saying, it was not one that I returned to as a kid a lot. Like it feels like a filler one in my brain in that it's not like colorful supervillain bad guy episode. It's just like a I don't think it'll beat any of mine because I've got Double Dose and Speed Demons at my bottom stuff, but.
Yeah,
I almost want to use a shuffle because I do think I don't know. I might have liked this better than My Girl, but I for some reason have My Girl above Speed Demons and Double Dose, and I don't know if I feel that way anymore.
Well, I mean, but think back. You know,
I know we're not supposed to do that, but the shuffles do exist for a reason.
They do.
But I'm not going to waste it. There's so much DCAU left.
Well.
I only have 8 each.
But hold on to that. Look at it from my perspective. You don't know what's left.
No, I'm not saying it in a way of like, I know what's coming up that could beat it or not beat it. I'm more thinking of it just in general, like numbers, quantity of episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of torn because, like, I don't know, like looking at My Girl, looking at the cheat sheet you made me, thank you very much. You know, it's another episode that like has a lot more like emotion to it. And this one's not really like an emotional, I mean, I guess there's like aggression as an emotion, but
it's frustrating and really frustrating.
Yeah. And it's
Big
good. Like it's a really
frustration.
good action episode, and I'd absolutely like recommend someone who just like wants a kind of easier episode that's a little like, you know, gripping or whatever. Like this is a good one for that. It's not like one that you're going to like watch and love and like really be like impacted by forever, but it's not a bad one to watch.
I might skip the first half of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I might skip. I might watch most of it with my eyes burned out by a laser.
Yeah. You just listen and smell it.
Yeah. This episode smells so good.
It smells like Corey Mills.
It smells like Axe body spray. I'm sure.
I was gonna say something like that. Yeah,
Axe sweat and a little bit of Budweiser.
He does have that about him. Yeah, he's got a wooden TV. He's probably drinking Budweiser. So yes, no.
I don't think
no?
so. I think I'm gonna stave off, but I'm gonna give it a hearty thumbs up.
We're going to go to mail now, and we tell Brian the name of the next episode after that, and he tries to guess what it's about, so stick around.
Yeah. That yop had one small extra yop, put it over.
We drop
What we drop?
our weekly yop
Oh yeah, those.
into the comment box.
Please!
There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're all
At least I am.
just Dylan Pollock.
Now Jamie's mad. Now he's even more mad because you put the electricity dildo in his spine.
Whatever happened to your harmonizing, dude?
I've given up on. It's the same thing every time. You know, I gotta be different.
Oh, okay.
At least I don't have to sing an entire song like I used to have to. But
That's true. Wow, do you remember those days?
it's a little break. If you want to reach out to us, like the fire hand at the end of World's Finest Part 2. 3. Fuck. I was so concentrated on not saying the at the start that I said the wrong goddamn whatever. You can send a punctuated email or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on today's episode on the Podtower YouTube channel. But please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian. And I'm going to clarify that means anything that happens after an episode that Brian just watched, like literally anything, don't talk about it. There's some emails that I'm having to skip entire paragraphs because they're like, well, when Brian gets to this thing, oh, am I not supposed to talk about that? Like, don't talk about that. It's very simple. Listener, come on.
To be on the other side of that, listener, before we started recording, James was talking a wee bit about the Dan thing and was talking about how some you ride or die listeners were really receptive and were like, "Ooh, am I not supposed to talk about that?" But I wasn't around, so but I appreciate
okay.
the care. Like that's awesome. Honestly, that's really cool.
This is from LexCorp Cares, of course. Hi there, jeans and britches. I'll be heading off the grid this week. So I wanted to send in a message early. It'll be a pretty slow week for LexCorp, so I doubt we'll have anything that needs a PR response. Have a good one. Sent from the inescapable LexCorp grid.
Hi, from all of us here at LexCorp. I wanted to take some time and talk about a valued member of the LexCorp team, Chomp Chomp the LexCorp shark. Originally recruited off the shores of the Cayman Islands, Chomp Chomp is the highest-ranking member of what we call our Airbud initiative. You see, certain laws that apply to humans don't seem to extend to animals, and yes, this does include corporate finance. For 3 years now, Chomp Chomp has served as our chief financial officer, and we have just been amazed at their creative use of numbers and can-do spirit. Next time you're in the LexCorp offices, please feel free to say hi to Chomp Chomp. Chomp Chomp is located at the top floor of the tallest skyscraper in the entire city, behind the thinnest glass you can find in all of Metropolis. All right, well, I'm sure that's all the notable things that will happen at LexCorp this week. I hope you have a good one. Bye.
It must be, yeah, nothing else to talk about. Find the thinnest glass.
That's pretty perfect.
The highest room of the tallest tower. This is from Michelle Salerno. Hello, Batman and Joker. I just realized how perfectly your initials fit for those nicknames.
Somebody must have done that, right?
I don't know.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week by Dylan. Oh, wait, shit. Wrong account. I love this episode. You know, Jordan Newman made an appearance.
Oh, this is
Mr.
Cold
Freeze
Comfort.
has always been my number one Batman villain. And I was a little skeptical at first because his motive only seemed to be like, my wife left me, so I'm going to inconvenience a couple of successful people. But they really turned that around when he became Spider-Freeze. By the way, Nora married her doctor? That is not legal? No wonder Freeze was pissed. I'd be too.
Oh, that's a good point.
Still, it makes me wonder why he felt the need to do those things at the start when he was going to inconvenience all of Gotham anyway. Well, it goes to show how difficult it must be to one-up his past episodes, and yet somehow they still managed to deliver, so I'm not complaining. Plus, you know, those Bat Family moments are just gold, like Bruce scolding Timm about his civics grades just to get his ass handed to him. Like, it's comedy at its finest. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it just as much as I did. Yup, till you drop.
We enjoyed it slightly less, but you made some good points. I think I hadn't thought about the whole thing of like, why does he inconvenience those specific 3 people if he's just going to ice the whole city? Is that part of what the doctors were helping him with? Is building the reverse fusion bomb or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I don't know. It was ambiguous. Dylan Pollock, Prototype.
We just heard from Dylan Pollock.
Oh, whoops. I'll just skip this one.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie Upgrade? Yeah, it's kind of like that.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on Prototype, or who chooses to become this RoboCop Venom hybrid? Lex says, there's a time and a place for dissension, Mr. Irons, but never with me. Well, my response would be, you're not really being clear, so there isn't a time for dissension, because that's what you're telling. Also, Corey arrives on the scene, injuring several suspects, starts unloading, firing away, escalating the situation, and goes to kill an unarmed man, so pretty routine police work.
Ooh.
And we get Superman saying, it'd be nice to have a little help for a change, but this guy just worked with Batman and Dr. Fate, so, like, what are you complaining for? You've gotten help.
There's the thing.
Anyway, let's get to the question of the week. James' favorite part. Who wins in a fight? The Terminator or RoboCop?
Terminator.
One moment, please.
Dylan, I looked up RoboCop versus Terminator because I knew that was a comic that already exists, and I believe RoboCop wins.
No.
If I'm reading this correctly.
I guess I don't remember RoboCop that well.
I don't know. Yeah. RoboCop has never been like in my, oh my God, what a cool character. It's always been sort of lame to me.
I had a RoboCop toy back in the 90s.
That's it. That's the extension probably.
Yeah.
So my answer is the canon answer. It's RoboCop. You didn't say anything about LASIK, but you did say he just worked with Batman and Dr. Fate thing.
I was so upset. I was waiting for the LASIK.
Lanola Cola. This was the second STAS episode I caught in Montreal. Prototype, a.k.a. No, not the video game of the same name. Lockup 2.0. Chekhov's Shark Tank. The latest LexCorp action figure. Why did burnt retina's Superman look like old style Bruce in the close-ups? He kind of there was that one very like close-up of him that looked a lot like btas Bruce Wayne. I'll give it to him. This episode was really well paced, and with all the ideas, action, dilemmas, and characters it introduced, I also like the episode showed LexCorp is capable of creating things that would actually be beneficial, but there's always some quirk that ruins it. In this case, the neurological connection that literally rewired Corey Mills' brain and the addiction allegory with him in the suit. This episode is also confirmed Sawyer wears a short skirt under her not-so-long jacket. That's a reference to Cake Song. No ejected shells from the ponytail Chop Shop Criminal's pistol. And not to steal Jordan's bit, but the percussion-driven music during Mills' rampage at the Chop Shop reminded me of the raptor music in Lost World Jurassic Park. Overall, a surprisingly good episode to catch on my trip. I'll get back to y'all faster than John Henry Irons' introduction as a LexCorp employee and then his subsequent resignation till we up again. Yeah, he was, I work for you. You've never seen me before. I quit.
Hell of a stance, you know.
Yeah. James Alvarez prototype. I'm setting myself up for pain again, but I'm just going to say it. This is one of my favorite STAS episodes. It introduces John Henry Irons, a personal favorite character of mine in DC Comics, and I just think it's fun. Some normal people getting just a modicum of superhuman power and immediately thinking they can throw hands with Superman is a trope of the show that I always enjoy. Don't worry, by the time you've read this, I've already processed whatever lambasting and ridicule you've put upon something I love. Yoppiest regards, James Alvarez, #1 Promethean apologist. I think we did pretty okay.
Yeah, hopefully that's not too upsetting for you.
Yeah. Ryan Hipp, if I didn't care for the episode, these would have been my proto-gripes.
Let's green egg and ham it.
It is taking every fiber of my being not to burn through all of my Shaq references right now. It's everybody's favorite. This show has officially yeeted the shark. And there are some people, including friends of mine, who think a version of Superman is only valid if we see him saving a cat, which thankfully isn't a whole lot of people and is just kind of wild. But I do love that the one time someone saves a cat in the show, it's not Superman, but it's the dickhead cop who's a literal Aryan turned literal skinhead with military-grade weapons provided by a white billionaire who goes power-hungry and does police brutality. And a good thing that this is a cartoon work of fiction, right? And why would the cops even want the suit back? Because Corey clearly came in it multiple times. All that is to say, your Superman can save all the cats he wants to. Mine will stick a fucking electricity cord in fucking Robot Man's fucking back because it's fucking awesome. And you know what? Fuck it. Here's one more for the road.
I want that juicy Shaq meat.
I wish I knew some of these references, Ryan.
I wish I knew any of them.
I understand the Shaquille O'Neal connection to Steel to John Henry Irons in this episode, but that's where it stops for me.
Same. That wasn't DC though, was it?
What?
What was
the Shaquille O'Neal Steel movie?
Was it Steel?
Yeah.
I remember him being a superhero, but I don't remember. Was it actually like this Steel though?
It was this Steel.
No shit. I didn't realize it was DC. I thought it was just something.
I'm looking
fucking
at
terrible.
the VHS tape of Steel right now.
Oh no.
We could watch it sometime.
Ooh.
This is from Super Show. Super Luigi 64.
Hey.
An aside on what Lanola Cola has been saying about Canadian Cartoon Network. The current Cartoon Network Canada used to be Teletoon, which was the premier animation channel once it debuted in 1997, quickly became the Canadian home for most Cartoon Network shows. It had its own Adult Swim style block, Teletoon at Night, which aired a mix of Adult Swim shows and old Canadian co-productions like Undergrads and Clone High.
Oh
Here's
my
where
God,
the fun
Clone
begins.
High is
Clone
so
High,
good.
yeah. Here's where the fun begins. A Canadian Cartoon Network would appear in 2012, taking over Teletoon Retro, aka Canadian Boomerang, with its own Adult Swim, turning Teletoon at Night into a CanCon, Canadian Content Rerun Farm. Then in 2019, they relaunched a 24-hour Adult Swim channel up here, which robbed Cartoon Network Canada of its Adult Swim content, with the Teletoon at Night content moving over there, causing the overnight block to be filled with BTAS, STAS, and Young Justice. Then, just over a year ago, Teletoon was discontinued and overwritten with Cartoon Network Canada, still with the retro superhero cartoons filling the overnight block. So the modern-day Canadian airings of BTAS and STAS owe its existence to a decade-long domino effect and the decay of the identity of Canadian cable broadcasters. Keep on yapping, Super Luigi 64.
Holy shit.
Thanks. I would have never known this ever.
Can you make like a YouTube video about that? Like, I think there's
There's
a lot to it that we're not really getting into right now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
True score, Prototype, or Spider-Man 2 did it better. Hey, Betty Boop and Jelly Donut. These names were last minute. Forgive me. No, this is as good as anybody else's. Here's your Lego fact for the week. We have never gotten any Lego products based off of the Superman animated series. In fact, we haven't gotten anything DCAU related until this month with the new Lego BTAS Gotham City Skyline set. Although there was a level pack for Lego DC Supervillains, the video game, where both Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy reprised their roles as Joker and Batman. Episode-wise, oh lord, this was mid, and I'm sorry, did Superman electrocute that man and also blind him? Sounds like jealousy to me. I would have cut down this episode to just make it look like Superman hates this guy and is attacking him for no reason, aside from the fact that when everyone's super, no one will be. Sent from my commercial multitask exoskeleton Oxyvo Omni suit with back, shoulder, and neck support.
Ooh, love that.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you have one of those. It's very relaxing sounding. This is from Kyle, to be continued, and it continues.
Oh my God. Find that Sean Connery.
Okay, here we go. I am somewhere else. I think I'm still trying to find a master to teach me how to defeat the other Canadian-based listener. This joke has gone on for a long time, but I think that's okay. Maybe that's who I need up over there. Hey, mister, can you help me with something? Wait, that's not possible. Who are you? What? No, please don't!
Oh.
It's another Kyle, isn't it?
That's the end of that runner and ridiculousness. Anyways,
what?
I guess I'm the Kyle now who's going to respond to the podcast. My question for Brian and James is, it sounds like sometimes when you're recording in separate places, you're watching the episodes together. Are you doing a group watch on Max, or are you just syncing up your video? I'm just kind of curious because you mentioned sometimes you see each other's reactions. That's it. Thanks, guys. Keep it Yoppie. YoPlay has yet to respond to any of my emails.
I hope you're actually sending those. I want to be sponsored by Yop. We should try that Max group.
That's
watch
a really
thing.
good
idea. We're really stupid for not thinking of that. Because here's what actually happens: is that Brian Boots gets the episode ready. I get the episode ready. I start playing up until Simple Crash when young Clark Kent jumps off a cliff, and I pause it right on that Simple Crash, and then Brian shows me his TV on his phone or laptop or whatever, and then I wait for that moment in his, and I hit play right on that downbeat, and then we're synced for the rest of the episode, unless his TV fucks up or a dog is like, oh my God, let me outside, and interrupts us and whatever. It's a very foolproof way of doing it, except not, because it seems like we're trying to do it like 2006 style or something.
Yeah, maybe even earlier. We should do a watch party thing.
Yeah, I'll look into that for next time. Thanks, Kyle. It's a great idea. We know what we're doing over here at the Watchtower database. Tip Tapricot, Contemplations on Prototype, sent from my iPhone, or at least I hope it sends. They were telling me that they had to send it as a video because their headphones broke or something.
Oh, what?
We'll find out here.
I've tried to record this 5 times, so here we go. Okay, so this is my Contemplations on Prototype. It was actually really good. I didn't expect it to be good, but it was actually really good. It surprised me. It's poignant no matter the era. Super cop violence is always going to suck. And of course, the super cop that they put in the suit is blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Who else were they going to choose? A few things I loved were the scene continuity, like the water on the floor from Luthor's tank following the fight through multiple rooms on the floor. The pacing, I think they fit a lot in this episode. And the music, I felt antsy. Though the logistics of how something that's not kryptonite could harm Clark are unclear, I liked seeing him overpowered and on edge due to tech in this episode, like his eyes being off-put and him having to rely on his other senses and stuff. Seeing Superman disheveled from a situation that's not a powerful alien was cool, though the property damage notes are going to be off the charts. Quick stuff, I liked Henry Irons' model and expression. I think it was really expressive, and I think this episode was grounded, as there was a lot of extra characters we saw, and buildings were having interiors instead of just being blank concrete. Well, we have to add not being hit by a car that hard to the list of things that won't actually kill you, just like water. And also, the moral should not be that the suit is good and that the person is bad. That sucks. What the hell?
I felt antsy listening to that. No, this is good. I want to know, Tip Tapricot, do you write down everything you're going to say? Do you write down bullet points? Does it all come out of the head at once? Because there's no stopping to think. There's just go, go, go. I'm impressed, really.
Seasoned theater actor there.
We have a new review on Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
From Clark's Creek. It says, nearly a decade ago, I wrote an article on an unfortunately now defunct Batman fan site gushing over the brilliance of the Watchtower database's webcomic Legacies of the DCAU. Almost 10 years later, and the Watchtower database continues to bring that level of brilliance, I wrote this myself, to exploring the DCAU in what is in some ways their most comprehensive endeavor yet. The dynamic of this podcast is so exciting.
Aww.
The segments into which the podcast episodes are structured are awesome, and each episode I find it so fascinating to hear both the perspective of a DCAU expert who has watched the shows and movies numerous times and someone experiencing the shows and movies for the very first time. I already knew how much fun James was to listen to. I wrote this myself. And I'm delighted to be able to say that about Brian as well.
Aw,
I think this podcast is only going to get more and more interesting the more DCAU that Brian consumes. I look forward to him eventually understanding the reference in the title of this review. So jump on the Bat-Wagon now. The title was James and Brian Are Shway.
I know if that is a thing that, like, Rob says a lot. Like, you and Rob, I've seen exchange that.
Yeah. You will get there. You
Sweet.
got it. Thank you. That was a really nice review.
Thank you.
And when people say those things to us, it helps me feel like, okay, I can keep doing this. 'Cause there's times, you know. Even like I'll brag about this. I mean, we were on the call with Dan before we let in everyone else. Dan had tried to get his room cleaned too quickly and wound up stabbing himself on his Emmy. And he were like first world problems and all this stuff about that. So he's telling us about this. I said something about like, oh yeah, when I think about like how old all you guys were when btas started, like they were like in their 30s when they're starting to make btas. I sit there and think like, oh my god, what am I doing with my life or whatever. Right. And Dan was just like, no, like you can't think that way, don't think that way, you guys are doing all this amazing stuff, or you're reaching people in ways and all this stuff. Like he was saying all these really nice things that I can't even recall the exact phrasing because I'll feel like I
need you to recall.
Yeah. I'll just send you the clip or something, but because I was just like, oh my god, Dan. And then I told him, oh, well, you haven't done anything afterwards, so it's too bad you done nothing. But yeah, thank you, Clark's Creek and company. Comments on last episode, which was cold comfort or glowing red in his meat basement. This is from Unlikely Ally. I remember liking Prototype when I was young, and I think it holds up. Not a top 10, but a solid standalone episode. Yeah, that's how we felt. Mm-hmm. I felt bad for the guy. He was just a good cop that was given bad mind-altering tech. Was he? I don't know. Also, I know so far Superman's character is slightly boring and one-note Boy Scout farm boy, but I still find it winning. When Superman earnestly tells Irons to keep trying at the end, it just makes me want to be the person Superman believes I can be. But I guess I'm just an eternal optimist. Namananab says, oh god, hang on. Zerverstim. That was Mr. Freeze back.
Wow.
Very difficult for me to do.
Good job, Jamie.
Euphonium Star, damage report. For cold comfort, museum floor, TV camera, Ultrasaurus skeleton, Twilight and Gotham painting, champagne bottles, table, Batman's cape, Wayne Manor wall, freezer door, ropes, helicopter fuselage window, and pilot seat. Thank you.
I feel like it was more than that, but okay.
I guess not. Maybe not. I am looking forward to the Prototype one. 5 Ooper 8 Edel. Super Beetle. Hello, Jump in the Line and Brandy. You're a fine girl. I hope y'all enjoyed Cold Comfort, or I've been a so-so popsicle. Looking at Mr. Freeze's goons made me remember that pesky male gaze. Thanks, Bruce Timm. I also do like Victor's redesign, except for the weird eyes. Based on the laws of revenge in Gotham, Freeze created like 2 villains in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, Ultrasaurus woman. Yeah. Also, I've been rewatching the DCAU, this time with my little brother. He surprised me by saying he preferred the BTAS designs, even as we reached shows like Redacted. Thanks for inspiring me to do this with my brother.
Dude, that's awesome.
Anyhow, thanks for the banger podcast and stay yoptastic. Yeah, it is always cool when people are like, oh, you've inspired me to do this with my friend or brother or sister or cousin or dad or whatever. Additional comment, holy shit, they mentioned Auntie Donna and they mentioned my favorite sketch.
Wait, which one is that?
I don't know. We've said a few. Yeah.
Oh, no. Which one was it?
I said the roll call one. You said the two ties one.
God, they're so good.
Mark Aquino, last first prototype, or RoboCop 4, or I, Ron Man. Shaved head and blue eyes. I'd be nervous if I was his wife. Placeholder. Baby, I'm a placeholder. I beat you. I'm gonna refresh the page. I'm gonna give you this one last chance here,
Mark.
We'll see if you fixed it. We'll see. No, it still says placeholders. I'm going to read it like that. And that dude, John Henry Irons, voice of good old Calabac himself, Michael Dorn. You know, they introduce him and he ultimately doesn't do anything. What a useless character. They better not bring him back. That's all I'm saying.
Wah, wah.
Boss Biggest Bear. That's a spoiler. Boss Biggest Bear is something Brian guessed. Bear Hugs, the #1 podcast host in this here multiverse of ours, Jerry Springer, and bruh, I'm just tired. Praise to our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast. Remember, tell Gab that she rules. Likewise to all his loyal disciples, all the names, and of course, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours. You're the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. Placeholder, baby. I'm a placeholder. Till next week, big old whoosh, I just flew away. You missed your chance, Mark. I'm going to say those if they happen. If they're still here, that's what I'm doing.
Careful, Mark. James will always do what he says.
I will read what you say. You can put anything. That's the episode of this podcast.
Man, what a good one.
It was a pretty good one.
It was a pretty good episode.
Do you want me to tell you the name of the episode before you guess the show or after you guess the show?
Hold on. What day did this one air on?
This was the third of the 3 total episodes that could have aired on a day with each other.
Yeah. But what day?
It'll be
was it?
October 11th, 1997.
What day?
Saturday, I think.
Ooh. Superman.
We're still in Men in Black Day, premiere day.
Sweet.
Superman, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay!
And you would have gotten it anyway because the episode is called The Late Mr. Kent.
Oh, no.
What do you think it's about?
Mr. Kent being held up by something. Not dead.
His neck, perhaps?
Yeah. I think it's wordplay, and they're not actually going to kill...
Not dead? Okay.
Not kill Clark. But maybe it's all the stuff that, like anytime that Clark disappears and does Superman stuff, and then they come back.
Oh, like everyone going like, where the fuck has he been?
Yeah.
He's such a late Mr. Kent again.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Come into my office. Bruce Wayne is here to fire you.
Good callback.
I'll remind the listener we only have 6 more episodes left until we get to 1998 and 10 more episodes until our next movie. Woo!
Oh my God.
It's coming up. And that's all we say. We're done talking now.
Wow. End of podcast.
Thank God.
Goodbye.
End of podcast.
One moment, please.
And then it plays the clip.
Well, listener, thanks as always for being a listener and making it this far. And if you made it this far,
we're still talking?
You can now request 2 pennies from me on...
Don't do that. Brian, out of the heart of his heart, will pay the 2 pennies.
I will. Go
and you
for
won't
it.
Want it. He does not actually have $1.6 billion or whatever. Please don't.
I haven't checked
it.
my bank account since we started this episode. I might.
He's still in withdrawal from the suit. The doctor said it'll take a while, but he should recover completely. The suit seemed like such a good idea.
It still is. If someone could find a way to make it work safely, it'd be nice to have a little help for a change.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, Brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Timm Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. and we'll see you next episode. Same PP time, same poo-poo channel.